What's happening YouTube? My name is Alex and today I'm taking a look at a new tablet from China. This one is called the Cube iWork8 Air. So what's so special about this tablet? Well, it costs under $100, it has an Intel processor and it runs Windows 10 and Android 5.1. I left links in the video's description if you want to check this tablet out. Now, for a quick unboxing, I'm just gonna look at the box very quickly. It's in fast forward, so the box doesn't say much, some information on the back of it, and inside the box we just get the tablet, a couple of manuals, a OTG cable, what else, and the USB cable so you can charge the tablet. So not that much into the box. Now the tablet itself, it's very cheaply made. I mean, they had to cut the costs by all means in order to keep that processor inside and 2 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. So the tablet is made of plastic entirely. So even the screen, the 8-inch screen, it's kind of covered by plastic. So it's not glass, so it will scratch quite easily if you don't use like a screen protector of some sort. So the tablet has a couple of buttons on the right hand side, so the volume buttons and the power button are on the right hand side, and on top we have another button. This button usually takes you to like the main screen on Android, or it opens the Windows menu if you're running Windows. Next to that we have a SD card slot, so it can take SD card slots, and that is pretty cool. And one really cool feature about this, with the SD card on Android, you can actually install apps onto the SD card. So I figured I'll mention that now since we are talking about the SD card. So that's a really cool thing to have, because this way you're not limited by the memory of the tablet. Next to that we have a 3.5mm audio jack, and next to that the HDMI output, and then a charging port or a USB port. So you can plug in stuff into this USB port. You can plug in like a USB stick, whatever you wish. So it's a dual purpose. I wish to have another charging port, because if you're charging the tablet, then you cannot use a USB stick in the same time. So it is a bit inconvenient. Now the back of the tablet, it's also made out of plastic. Doesn't look that amazing. I mean, it's kind of a cheap plastic. It's a bit slippery. We have a 2-megapixel rear camera, and that's about it. So the back is not too exciting either. The front, again, we get a front-facing camera. It's a 2-megapixel front-facing camera, so not the greatest camera out there. And the 8-inch screen. Now the screen has a really good resolution. It's just above 1080p, so you do get like really awesome colors, and the viewing angles are pretty good. So I'm very happy to see that the 8-inch screen that this tablet has, it's got like a good quality. You don't really see this much for a cheap tablet. So the good part is that the screen, it's pretty good. So watching movies and stuff like that, it's an enjoyable experience. Now, as soon as you turn on the tablet, you get a pop-up, a screen that you can select either Android or Windows. So you have 10 seconds to decide. If not, it's just gonna start up with the last one that you started. So in this time, I had the Windows 10 open. Now about Windows 10, I'm gonna be very brief about Windows 10. So you do have access to a full Windows 10, which is pretty good. Now the thing is that even with the 2 gigs of RAM and that quad-core processor that the tablet has, Windows 10 it's slow onto this tablet. So you can open apps, you can open the Windows Store, you can browse, you can watch some YouTube videos, and if you do watch YouTube videos, you can open them in Chrome at 1080p, and that's pretty good. But the tablet is slow in Windows. Like, every single task takes a bit longer, and that processor that the tablet has is a quick processor, so that's a shame. Aside from that, you can just install any apps that you'd install onto Windows. So I installed Chrome, I installed the VLC player, and you can install pretty much anything because it's Windows. If you connect a USB stick to it, it's just like you'd connect a USB stick to your computer, so it's the same thing. The same with the keyboard, you can just connect a keyboard, but again, we only have one USB port, so if you use that with the keyboard, you're not going to be able to use anything else. So that's the only inconvenience. Now It's a cool thing to have Windows 10 because sometimes you may need like a Word document or an Excel file or something like that. So you can just open the Windows partition and all of a sudden you have access to all those. Of course, if you install Office, whatever, Microsoft Office or Word or whatever. So it's a cool thing. But Windows, it's a bit limited because the tablet is a bit slow. Sometimes it also crashes, so you do get like a blue screen saying that it crashed. That is unfortunate, and I've seen that happening if you just leave the tablet running with Windows. So you just turn off the screen, all of a sudden you get a blue screen saying that it crashed. So that is the unfortunate part about Windows. But nevertheless, it's pretty cool to have Windows and Android 5.1 onto a tablet. Now, getting into the Android, since the processor that this tablet has, it's quite powerful and you do have 2 gigs of RAM, the tablet just flies when you have Android 5.1 open. If we open the Antutu score, you're gonna see a score of about 55,000 or so, and that is a really good score for a device that costs under $100. So that's pretty cool. On the Geekbench, again, we get a high score again, and for this price, it's really good. On the CPU setup, we can just see whatever information we already know, so the processor, the RAM, and stuff like that. The tablet does get a bit hot, but I've only seen it getting hot while using the Windows, not the Android side. About storage, as I was telling you before, we don't get that much space. We only get about 5 gigs free. However, we can install apps onto the SD card, which is a really good thing. Also, you can play games because it's a fast processor, so I was playing Asphalt 8 with absolutely no problems, and because the tablet actually takes like an OTG, has like OTG capabilities, you can actually use gaming controller. So I did play Asphalt 8 with a gaming controller, which is pretty nice to do because this way you don't have to actually hold the tablet. I've also played Modern Combat 5 and it works really good with both games. Like I had no issues whatsoever. Gaming, it's really fast onto this tablet. And actually everything you do on Android with this tablet, it's very fast. Sensors wise, the tablet doesn't really have that many sensors. The tablet has a 3500 milliamp battery, so it's not a big battery by any means, considering that it's got a very big screen. However, I did notice that while using Android, the battery lasts quite a bit. When you're using Windows, it seems to be using way more. So I would definitely keep this tablet to use it with Android more than Windows, because this way the battery life it's increased. Also, using Chrome on this tablet, it's a pleasure. The tablet is so fast and smooth, it doesn't stop at all. So there is absolutely no lag while using Chrome. Now, watching videos on YouTube, it's also done at 1080p, which is really good. That's basically just under the maximum resolution of the tablet. However, watching videos on this tablet at 1080p, it does look really good. So again, I watched one of my own videos and the video does go very smooth as well. Now the cameras, the rear camera and the front-facing camera, they're both 2 megapixel cameras. And as you're expecting, they're not great. I mean, they're pretty bad. The front-facing camera, it's good enough for any video calling like Skype or whatever you use. But taking pictures outside the rear camera, yeah, I wouldn't use it because the pictures don't turn out that great. And the camera is, well, not great at all. So not a great experience with the camera, but this is to be expected for all these tablets, because I haven't really seen a tablet with a good camera. So to conclude this video, for under $100 you do get a pretty awesome tablet. Android works flawlessly on it. The Android version that comes on it, 5.1, doesn't really have anything installed, so it looks very close to stock Android, which is really good. The settings app also looks like stock Android, which is also awesome because you don't really need all that garbage installed onto your device. You do get the option to have Windows 10 on it, so if you do need Windows 10 for certain tasks like Word or Excel or whatever it may be, you can just open Windows 10 and do whatever you need, and then you're done. Just switch back to Android because Android works really good. and you do have the entire Play Store to take advantage of, like games and all that stuff. You can use a wireless controller, you can use a keyboard. It's a really good tablet for its price. I think for $100 or just under $100, how much this is, it's an extremely good buy. Alright guys, hopefully this video was helpful. If you did like it, please press the like button. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.